You are in the zone with attorney Misty Oaks, and that means you are now rocking with the best here on the Misty Oaks Experience. So glad you all could join us today. I have two very special guests. So for all my wannabe, aspiring, potential, working at your craft actors, actresses, directors, casting directors, anybody that's interested in being an entertainer in front of the camera, I got some people here that can help you out with that and maybe give you a little advice. We got LaQuanda Plant in the building.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thanks for having me.
Now tell me the name of your company.
LQ Casting.
LQ Casting, and that's ELLE.
Capital
Q, right?
Q.
So you took it to the French version of L, right? LQ
Exactly,
Casting.
exactly.
Okay. Very cute, very cute. And then we have Donnie Leaphart.
Yes.
Am I right? Okay,
Absolutely.
I got it right. Got it right. And he is a director of many things, film, television, and he has a brand new web series. Well, both of them actually have a brand new web series called Osiris, starring the very handsome, very charismatic Brad James. I'm very excited about it. I saw the screening, y'all. Let me just tell you, it is... I'm not even going to use the word. It is the ish.
Thank
I'm
you.
going to keep it clean, but it's the bomb. It is definitely what's up. So we're going to talk about that, and we're also going to give some advice. I have a bunch of questions that I have because, you know, who knows? I might be an aspiring actress. So I got some Q&A to do with you all here on the Misty Oaks Experience. You all don't want to miss this one. And get your questions into me at facebook.com, who is Misty Oaks. We'll be right back here only on the new Sensation Station Network.
The Misty Oaks Experience.
Don't think. Feel. It is like a finger pointing away to the moon. Don't concentrate on the finger or you will miss all that heavenly glory. Do you understand?
We're back here on the Misty Oaks Experience with my two very special guests, LaQuanda Plant from LQ Casting. She is a phenomenal casting director.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you so much.
And you know, I wonder why that is. I think I have a clue.
You probably do.
Because you're from Connecticut.
Definitely.
Exactly.
Connecticut.
And Connecticut girls
Rock.
Yes. We so do. LaQuanda and I actually grew up around the corner from each other.
I know.
Around the corner of the street. It's all the same thing.
I know. Such
And
a small world.
what town?
Rocky Hill.
Say it again.
Rocky Hill.
Say it loud.
Rocky
Hill. You can't rock the hill, baby. What's good? Yes. So I am very happy to have you here. Very happy
Thank
that you're in
you.
Atlanta.
I know.
Yeah.
I
isn't
know.
it good
It's
just to have that
crazy.
familiarity?
I know.
Yes.
Weird.
So you have done something really amazing to me, and I'm so proud of you.
Oh.
You started your own business.
I did.
And it's successful.
I'm trying.
It's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm going to talk to you in just a moment about casting a movie or a television show, and I got some questions for you on that.
Bring
and I'm
them.
sure the audience does too. So,
All right.
But right now, I want to talk to Mr. Director over here, Donnie
that would be me.
Leaphart. Yes. How are you?
I am not from Rocky Hill, Connecticut.
I'm so sorry. We'll forgive you for that.
Okay,
It's okay. We'll accept you into the circle of trust anyway.
I appreciate that.
But where are you from?
I'm from Detroit, Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Detroit, Motor City.
We don't call it that anymore, but yeah.
Yeah. What do you call it now? I'm out of touch.
We call it the very depressing place to be.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. No.
No, it's actually Detroit's a beautiful place.
You're gonna have people
Yeah.
from Detroit
Yeah.
like calling
Mad
you
right
hate
now.
No,
Right.
No, I'm family, so it's all good.
Yeah, exactly. Only family can talk
Exactly.
about, right.
Exactly.
Like, we could talk about how boring Rocky Hill is, but if
Right,
anybody else
right.
says something about Connecticut, it's
Exactly.
like, oh,
No, don't do it. Don't do
you
it.
don't even know us like that.
Exactly.
Right.
Good. So, freezing cold down there.
It
I mean, I'm
gets-
sorry, rather up there.
It gets kind of cold. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what brought you down to Atlanta?
I came down to Atlanta for opportunity schools.
Mm.
I'm the carpetbagger in the truest sense. You know, I came to take advantage of the South. You know.
Cool. So, you went to school down here?
Yes, I did. Clark Atlanta University.
CAU.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And did you study film there?
Sort of. They they don't really have a true dedicated film program, but it's kind of a mixture of all communication in general. Okay. So a lot of what I learned on my own. But yeah, that was the place where I kind of honed my skills, so to speak.
A lot of what you learned on your own. First, let me backtrack a little bit. Okay. What inspired you to get into film?
I've always been a creative person, a writer, and so
when's your birthday?
It's in April.
April, what day?
I'm an Aries, if that's what you're trying to find
No,
out.
it's not, but what day?
April 11th.
Okay, I'm going to have to look you up.
Okay,
share something with you. Okay.
Yeah. I forgot the question now. What got me into film? Really, I've always been a creative person, a writer, and so I used to draw and write comic books when I was in middle school, high school, and had them for students, subscribers, everything. And so
you used to sell them?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
awesome.
We had subscriptions and everything.
It's a businessman over here. Early.
Right. So film was kind of the natural transition. I got tired of drawing, but I still wanted to tell stories. And so film was the natural transition, but that's a whole nother beast.
Okay.
There. So it took a while to learn, the tricks of the trade, but
yeah. So you said that you taught yourself.
Yes.
How did you go about doing that? Because I know right now we have a lot of in Atlanta, people that listen to the show that are aspiring to be a director or producer, get into film, television, and they're like, where do I start?
I think the main thing is to, you got to put in the work. A lot of people want it, but they don't want to put in the work. And so that means a lot of hours honing your craft, working sleepless nights, a lot of time, you have to sacrifice a social life. Being a young dude in Atlanta, there was the opportunity to hang out a lot, but I sacrificed that and spent a lot of sleepless nights working on films, learning, reading books, watching movies, listening to the DVD commentaries, talking to other people who are in the industry, etc. And so that got me to the point where I am now.
Good. So you basically just grinding.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Isn't it amazing the things that people say that they want, but in actuality, they are counterproductive to what it is that they're trying to do?
Yeah.
They say that they want to learn, they want to break into film, but it's like they don't want to put in the hours, they don't want to roll up their sleeves and really get into it and be in the trenches with it,
Right.
So, yeah, this business is not for the faint of heart, right?
Not at all. There's that old saying I'm sure everybody's heard, success is, when opportunity meets preparation. And that's the way I look at it. I spent literally a decade preparing, and it's got me to the place where I am now. And as far as the skill levels, to the point where people look at my work and say, oh, yeah, that looks professional. Yeah. Where there are other people that I've seen who were kind of my contemporaries along the way, and their work still looks the same as it did 10 years ago.
Because they're not pushing and growing and evolving.
Exactly.
Yeah, and still learning. Honing their craft, honing their skills, right? So now we know, and the point that you just made was a really important point of putting in the time, the energy, the effort, sleepless nights, sacrificing. It's about sacrifice. You get out of it what you put into it. But once you decided that you were going to do this and you were going to put in 110%, where did you go? What book did you pick up? How did you actually start learning? Is there a Google site, something I could Google that will tell me how to begin directing or preparing?
Well, I've read a lot of books from the greats. People, I think that's the biggest advice I can give is look at people you admire, whose work you want to emulate, and study them, because there are a lot of, if you're a fan of Spike Lee and you want to make films like Spike Lee, then, he's written, quite a few books of his own where he goes into his own influences and the things that he read and how he learned. And so you can learn from that.
The blueprint.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I did things like that. I looked at the people I admired, the filmmakers I admired, and looked at their work, and I did something that a lot of indie filmmakers don't do. I had that brutal honesty, and I put my work and compared it to their work and said, does this match up? And 99% of the time it didn't. And so I said to myself, okay, what do I need to do to get closer to matching this with the stuff I want to emulate?
That's deep.
And a lot of people don't do that. You see a lot of bad independent films, and they're just so proud. God bless their heart. It's just like you have to be honest with yourself and say, okay, the scene is too dark, the audio is too bad. the scene is too boring,
It's
too
like
long.
it's a parent with like an ugly kid, and you want to be like, oh, God bless her soul. Just
Right.
you don't want to say anything. You like,
Yeah,
it's
they're so
cute.
proud. But you know,
Right.
I will say one thing: it is an accomplishment in itself to get something done. There are a lot
Oh,
of people who
absolutely.
talk about it but never do anything. But you have to be honest with yourself and say, okay, I did this. I put it out there. What's wrong with this? So for the next time, I can get better.
Are you okay? True or false? If you want anything, if you seek anything, you will find it.
I think that's partly true.
Okay.
If I
okay.
could use that answer. Yeah.
Elaborate.
It's I think whatever you're looking for is out there, but like I'm not a believer in luck. I'm a believer in making good decisions or bad decisions. And I think it can go either way. You know, there are 90 different, you know, if success was a place to go, there are 90 different ways to get there.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so it's just choosing the right road. One road might, you know, take you on the scenic route, as they say, where you might be, you know, 45 years old when you reach that. But some people find the shortcut.
Right.
And so they're, you know, 25 when they get there. So I think it's just making that good decision on the path.
Well, how do you know that it's right for you? Like, how did you know that film was right for you? Directing was the place that you were supposed to be.
It's a cliche, but it's that whole, if it doesn't feel like work, then it's not a job, that whole thing. I've always been a creative person, a storyteller. And so it's kind of like, at this point in my life, I don't really know what else to do. I can't really do anything else. So it's just one of those things that feels natural. And people have told me that I'm pretty decent at it, so I got to go with
Yeah,
them.
you're not too shabby, I have to say. Saw a couple clips. It was cool.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So now you're in the right place. You're in the right field. You're doing what you want to do. You can't see yourself doing anything else. Are you still learning?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Even with this new project, the web series Osiris, I look at it now and I see things that I wish I'd done better, and for the next time around that I want to change up. But at the same time, I do see the growth.
Right.
So it goes hand in hand. I think you never stop learning.
Right.
You know, there's a really famous, you know, respected director, Akira Kurosawa, who, you know, he was 90 years old, still on set directing movies, and he said he was still learning at that point.
Yeah.
So if a great director like him, you know, was still learning at 90 years old, then, you know, I can't stop either.
That's deep. I think if you're still living, you should still be learning.
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
hope. Right.
Hopefully,
Hopefully.
yeah, right.
Right. So, okay. Talk to me about how you hooked up with this young lady right here, Miss LaQuanda Plant.
Well, we worked on we were doing a sketch comedy show, like a pilot for a sketch comedy show, and she helped us cast.
Like in a Living Color type deal?
Well, sort of, more like a, it's hard to say. It's not so zany and wacky. It was more like a real life situation type of sketch comedy. And so we
Okay.
needed some real life, diverse, you know, multicultural people, and she helped us come with casting that. And so from that introduction, you know, I asked her if she could help out on a feature film that we're shopping around. It's like a supernatural thriller. And so I write, you know, kind of different things than a lot of African American filmmakers. And so it was kind of difficult to cast from the beginning. So we had long conversations, and she got to the point where, well, at least I think she got to the point where she was excited about it, and she thought that this could actually do something. But the problem was we weren't having a lot of luck convincing a lot of the investors and the people with money, because a lot of times with African American films, they're used to the same old. You know, if it's not about a crime,
We're going to
black
talk
family,
about that. We are going to talk about that.
right. So it was tough to get people to pay attention, and so we said, let's do a small project, just a web series, to get the people behind us, and then the powers that be will have to pay attention.
Okay.
And that's what led us to Osiris. And so she, from the very beginning, the very first conversation, she was a part of that. And because casting was so important for this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was Osiris originally intended to be a movie?
No. Like I
Okay.
said, it was really just supposed to be a project to generate interest for the other feature film,
Oh, gotcha.
the supernatural thriller that we want to we really want to do. And so it started off as a small kind of, you know, like I call it a mixtape. You know,
Right.
you drop the mixtape before the
Like
album.
a teaser, a
Yeah.
sizzler kind of, right?
Right, but
Okay.
then it just kind of got a mind of its
Of its
own.
own.
Yeah.
Right.
It took on a whole life of its own.
Whole life of its own.
So let me talk to, I'm not sure even how much, because I really want to give Osiris its full, full time frame, because there's so much to talk about in that for me. So let's talk about this. First of all, Miss LaQuanda Plant.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Miss CT girl. So now you came to Atlanta how long ago?
Wow.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Since 98.
Okay.
98. I
Long
came
time.
down a long time.
Long time. And
Right.
what inspired you to get into casting?
You know what? I have a journey as well. And, I came down here for college as well. I went to CAU for a tidbit for a year. And I left and eventually, a couple years later, put myself back through school. And I went to the Art Institute. I originally wanted to be a director. I wanted to be a director. And Vid 101, it was me and 12 other guys. And
So are you like secretly plotting against Donnie right
No.
now? You like, I'm going to come over there?
no,
and snatch
you
that-
can listen. No, it was me, 12 other guys, and we started getting into the technicality of what it takes to be a director. And I said, I don't want to do this. I didn't want to do it. So,
Gotcha.
I've always been a writer. And so I went to screenwrite. And very weirdly, for editing class, we had to create a 15-minute short film, which I wrote and decided to cast on my own. And I actually held my first casting call and fell in love with it. So when I graduated from the Art Institute of Atlanta, I said, okay, whichever door opens for me first, script writing or casting, that's what I'm going to take. And
So
Here we are.
it chose you.
it definitely
Basically.
chose me.
Wow, that's destiny right there. And speaking of destiny, I'm going to come back and talk to you guys a little bit more about what it takes to do each of your jobs very well. And then we are definitely going to get into Osiris, which I'm very excited about. So come right back here on the Misty Oaks Experience, only on the New Sensation Station Network. You don't want to miss it. We're back on the Misty Oaks Experience, and that means, you already know what that means. That means you are rocking with the best. And I have one of the best directors, one of the best casting directors in the building with me today. No lie, true story. She like, y'all looking at me like, who? Is there somebody
Right,
else
right.
in the
Who's
green room? Y'all.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
Miss
you so
LaQuanda
much.
Plant from LQ Casting.
Yes.
How can we get more information about LQ?
Actually, wow, I'm like queen of social media. So I have I'm definitely on Facebook. I have a Facebook page as well as a group, LQ Casting.
Spell it for 'em.
ELLEQCASTING. I'm also on Twitter at LQ Casting. I have a website, www.lqcasting.com. And yeah,
So everything just
everything
LQ Casting.
LQ Castings. That's
Cool.
that's it.
Cool. So, Mr. Donnie.
Yes.
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 Do you ever get scared of success? Do you ever look at your work and your films and the work that you've done and say, wow, I'm really going to be where I want to be, you know?
No, not at all. At the end of the day, I want to make films, television shows, etc., that entertain me. And I'm I'm addicted to media. Like, I watch a lot of movies, a lot of TV shows. I watch just pretty much everything.
Wow.
Because I just like to take it all in. Even the bad stuff, I just watch everything. And so I'm addicted to it. And so I think with my work, I try to just put it out there and say that if somebody else made this, would I want to watch it? And that's the main kind of barometer I look at when I write a script or make a film, etc. Would I want to watch it if somebody else made it? Would I get jealous and say, man, I wish I had come up with that, etc. if somebody else
Right.
did it? And so as far as success, it's tricky because as an artist you don't think about what the effect of your work. You just do the work. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's the way I look at it. I just put it out there and see. It's so surreal to me that people, when we put the trailer out for Osiris, the response, people were telling me, I'm a fan, and I'm like, well, it's not even out yet. It's
Right.
like, well, I'm a fan of the trailer. And so it was like really surreal, you know what I mean, to see the response that people had for something that, you know, that I was a part of in creating. So I don't.
Isn't it a beautiful thing?
Yeah, it's actually kind of cool, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I've been on that other side, you know, where I see something, especially if it's an independent thing, where you're like, okay, I want this to come out, to succeed so I can see more of it or whatever. And so it is kind of cool to be on the other side of it.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
You know, one of my favorite quotes is that amateurs compete with other people and professionals compete with themselves.
That's a good one.
And isn't that so
Yeah.
true? You
Yeah.
know, because I do that too. I'm like, when I want to attend this webinar, you know, my law firm, we do webinars and teleconferences regarding the housing, foreclosure, mortgage market crisis. And so every time I put one together, I'm like, is this informative? If I didn't know anything about mortgage fraud or this or that, would I feel educated and informed? So always looking at it that from that perspective, competing with yourself, really,
Yeah.
you know, seeing if you can
Yeah.
outdo or out educate or out direct, you know, your latest and greatest is
Yeah.
pushing yourself,
Yeah,
right?
you're only as good as the last thing you did, unfortunately.
Right.
But,
That's true.
So you
That's
have
true.
to keep excelling. Yeah.
That's absolutely right. So talk to me about, first of all, okay, Osiris, the name, and why call it Osiris? Who was Osiris? What does that mean?
Well, if you know Egyptian mythology, or if it might not be mythology to you, depending on your beliefs, there was a god of the underworld, or god of the dead, called Osiris for the Egyptians back then, and I kind of borrowed that name for the series because this is a guy who is immortal and he comes back from the dead. And so I thought it would be a good connection. Whether or not it has anything to do with the mythology of our own series remains to be seen. But I thought it was a good way to make it, you know, familiar for a lot of people, since the name was kind of already out there. And it gave way to a lot of opportunities to play around with you know, our own storyline and the things that we will reveal as the episodes go on. Yeah.
So are you a fan of Egyptian mythology?
I'm a fan of just knowledge in general. I was that guy in college who was reading all kinds of books, you know, weird books, you know what I mean? Behold a Pale Horse and all that kind of craziness back when you're in college. The late night conversations with your dorm friends and all of that kind of stuff.
The debates about
Yes,
religion and
politics
theology.
and all of that.
Yeah. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
with you. I'm the same. I'm a nerd. I'll go ahead and guilty as charged.
Right.
I'm right there with you.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Egyptian mythology, Osiris was the god of the underworld. I
The god of the
believe?
dead.
The
Yeah,
god of the
yeah,
dead.
yeah.
Okay. And so the concept for Osiris.
Mm-hmm.
Where did that come from? Did you just flash back one day like, I remember reading a story about...
Well, it came from the short version of the stories. Last Thanksgiving break, I went to visit my mom in North Carolina, and my assignment then was to come up with a web series because, like I told you before, LaQuanda and my business partner Rodney Breelove, they gave me the assignment to come up with a web series we can shoot to help get the feature film off the ground. I couldn't think of anything. So on the drive back from North Carolina to Atlanta, what I did was I just put all the kind of cool nerd sci-fi ideas I kind of liked over the years since I was a kid, just put it all in a pot. And this guy named Osiris popped out. And so I immediately got on the phone with LaQuanda and Rodney, and I pitched it to them, you know, literally 30 minutes after I came up with the idea. And we immediately started talking about casting and like, should Osiris be a black guy or a white guy or any nationality?
Yeah.
So there.
Well, the cast is pretty mixed, I have to say. First of all, let me say this. There was a screening of Osiris. Was it 2 weeks ago? A couple weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
2 weeks. Oh, you know the exact date. She
September
was like, it
19th,
started
yes.
at 6:45 over off of Rainbow Road in Decatur. And it was awesome. Like, when I tell you, I didn't even expect the awesomeness of it, you know, because I had heard about it. Osiris, okay, I see the people, the red carpet, taking pictures, doing interviews. I was like, okay, cool, you know. Brad James, hey, how you doing? Okay. You know, going to the theater, I'm like, oh, it's a lot of people in here. Okay, well, we'll see what happens, you know. And first of all, the MC, the young lady that you had up there, she said one thing that I thought was really beautiful. She said, you know, let's give a round of applause, because anytime dreams come true and they're manifested, no matter what the outcome, anytime they're manifested, it's a beautiful thing. And so I was like, yeah, okay, true. Well, let's see how it manifests on screen. So, I wasn't thinking that. Let me stop. I was just open. I was like, I'm going to watch a movie and, you know, have a ball, right? Support my sister from, you know, Connecticut, of course. So, you know, when it came on, I was like, OM freaking G. After the first, like, 5 minutes, the first segment, I was like, I'm done. I'm like,
Wow.
what time, what day, what time? I'm going to have my popcorn. I'm going to be in front of the computer.
Wow.
Like, seriously, no lie, true story. I loved every second of it. Like, the first words that Brad James, Osiris, spoke in the movie, I call it the movie, in the web series, I was like, that line was so hot. Like, if a dude ever walked up to me and said that, I'd be like, okay, where are we going?
That's awesome.
But yeah, it was awesome. So, okay, Brad James as Osiris. Awesome. How did you go about, I mean, because that had to weigh heavily on you, you know, casting for Osiris, you know, who he's going to be, his personality, how he comes across on camera,
Right.
you know, the look of him, the voice of him, the swag of him, you know. How did you go about putting him in that role?
You know, like Donnie just mentioned, and when he pitched it, I definitely said leave it open. You know, we wanted Osiris to be this suave type, well-spoken, of course, attractive guy, but we didn't want to, I don't know, not stereotype. It definitely took a lot of thought. And when we auditioned, the many people, we had some very interesting.
Did you audition a lot of people?
We had a few Osiris as well.
Okay. So it wasn't like you immediately had somebody in mind? Like,
no, definitely not, because we left it open. Like, I wanted to see white guys. I wanted to see everyone.
Right.
And it's, like I said, we saw some very interesting people audition for Osiris.
Was it like Apollo Theater, and I was like, womp womp?
You know what? I'm gonna tell him. It's this funny thing that Donnie does. Like, we'll be in a casting call. He has this thing. He'll make like a no. It'll be like a sad face or a happy face. So I'm like,
thumbs down,
right,
like a hand.
It's very hard, especially as a casting director, to keep your composure.
Yeah.
Because it is a lot of times where you want to say womp womp and do like the little Sunman dancing or Sandman dancing.
Well, that was what I was gonna ask you, because watching American Idol, you guys know the auditions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, I'm laughing my tail off. I'm on the ground, like rolling, crying, calling people like, did you just see this dude? I mean, if I'm sitting there in front of them, I wouldn't be able to keep a straight face. I'm going to have to laugh. I'm going to be honest and laugh. Now, you have to maintain your composure,
I have to maintain my composure. And it gets tough. But I'm a professional. I'm going to put it out there. I'm a professional. So, you know, I do keep my composure.
My thing is, I'm a professional too, but if somebody is just tearing it up.
As cast, I mean, it's just something I have to do. You know, I can't laugh in someone's face. It's not nice.
That's
true. It's with this guy in the room, it's very hard.
Yeah.
Because I look to my left and I'll see that sad face and I'm like, okay, thank you. You know.
See, I would just have to audition people standing by a door, right? So if they start and they're good, I could come walk over and sit down. If they're horrible, I'm going to just have to be like, excuse me for a moment. Just, step away.
No.
Because, you know, a lot of people... First, I believe that a lot of people don't have the confidence that they should have. You know, a lot of times they wallow in self-doubt, or they're fearful and they don't even realize it. But I think a lot of times people are overconfident.
Right.
When they should not
be.
They
should not be.
You know what I mean?
You can definitely see it.
And you kind of, you know, you want to be a messenger sometimes and be like, listen, hone your craft a little bit more. Or maybe, you know, this isn't for you, you know. But it takes a lot of reservation. It takes a lot of I guess, I don't know.
He says
I don't even know what
because
to say.
I try. Like, I really want to help people. So if I see someone, they come in and whether their resume is the headshots off, or you know, I try to help them out and try to like, you're mean. I'm like, I'm not trying to be.
Just
mean.
be honest. You have to be Simon Cowell sometimes, because he keeps it real.
Exactly.
You know, and you don't want to waste their time or your time
or my time.
Right. Okay. So let me come back. We're going to come back. We just got into Osiris, and there's so much more to talk about. It's a great web series, so we are going to delve into it today here on the Misty Oaks Experience. Come right back because you don't want to miss what we're about to get into. We're back here on the Misty Oaks Experience. We are talking with a wonderful, very talented, very creative, very dedicated director today. His name is Donnie Leaphart.
Thank you. Yes.
I got that right? I don't know why I keep doubting myself when I say your last name. I really don't. But Donnie Leaphart, he is from Detroit, Michigan.
Yes.
The freezing cold weather.
Yes.
And we have LaQuanda Plant, who is from CT.
Yes.
Yes, also freezing cold. Right? So this is like springtime to us right here.
Yes, it is.
This weather is like Connecticut spring.
It is like Connecticut spring.
You know what I mean?
Or fall.
Or fall, yeah. Early autumn. I bet you it's freezing up at home right now.
Probably.
Early. Yeah. I'm so glad I live in the South
Exactly.
now.
Exactly.
So we are talking about Osiris. Osiris is a brand new web series. Now, somebody please explain to me what a web series is.
Go ahead,
Want me to do
LaQuanda.
it?
Yeah.
Well, you did a really, really good job at the the screening, Donnie.
Well, I look at a web series as being like it's like a television series, but more bite size. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people don't want to sit in front of a computer for an hour or so watching a series, and so it's like 10 minutes is a good frame of time. To watch a video. It's like a short film, basically, a series of short films that you can watch back to back. Now, I think for me, a lot of the best web series are ones that you can just mash out and just watch all 10 episodes at the same time. But you know what I mean? For Osiris, we're putting them out one at a time, 1 week at a time. And I think it's a good look because you can watch it on Twitter and Facebook. We had embeds everywhere on the website, osiristheseries.com. So I think, web series, I think it's the future because that on-demand streaming media it's where it's at,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And not only that, you can build the buzz before you even get it on television. You can basically be the media. You have your own television network, essentially, And so do people have to subscribe or sign up or pay to watch the series?
No.
Okay.
No,
So it's all free.
It is all free.
You just giving it away.
Giving it away.
Just giving it away.
For right
It's
now.
for the people.
It's
That's
for the
awesome.
people.
That's
It's that
what's
free
up.
mixtape, like he
I'm
said.
never mad at free. Trust me. You don't have to
it's definitely
justify to
free.
me. If it's free, it's for me. I will
Right.
be there.
Just tune in every Wednesday, 8 p.m. OsirisTheSeries.com.
That is so awesome. Osiris,
Yes.
the series.
OsirisTheSeries.com.
Yeah.
For you all who do not know how to spell Osiris,
Yes,
it's
please.
OSIRIUS. No, I can't spell Osiris.
She cannot.
I can't
She
spell
spelled it wrong.
It's
y'all.
OS. Go ahead.
OSIRIS. There you
The
go.
series.com.
See, you started off dissing people, and now
No, right. That's because I'm on the air, and I'm like,
That's that karma. They're
Right,
like,
that's what I get for saying for all you people who can't spell. Right, okay.
That's that Connecticut in you.
Exactly.
I was just about to say that sounds so Connecticut. Like for all of y'all that don't know,
Who don't know, but oh my bad. Okay, anyway. Right.
Oh man, we keep it real in Connecticut,
Yes,
don't we?
do.
Okay, so the cast is very multicultural, very diverse. You have the sister in there from, if anybody's a fan of the television show Girlfriends, she played Maya's mother.
Yes, Charmin
Right?
Lee.
Short hair.
Yes, Charmin Lee.
Charmin Lee,
who plays
she's
Chief
awesome.
Dixon. She is amazing.
I really, really like her.
Amazing. And once you all see her in episode,
She's in episode 3.
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Check the looks, like the way she looks at Osiris. To me, like when Donnie was editing, I'm like, the way she looks at him is just so funny.
Yeah.
Like, her facial expressions to me is just the best thing ever.
Yes.
She's just so
Yeah.
funny.
That's awesome. So now talk to me about the gist of Osiris. Talk to me about the overarching theme. I know you don't want to give too much away, but tell me a little bit more about what it's about.
Well, I think the easiest thing to say is, I mean, if you're 300 years old, a lot of things probably bore you, and that includes a lot of other people. So he's kind of sarcastic, he's arrogant, conceited. He can basically get what he wants, and he's probably the smartest man on the earth. because he's got 23 degrees and he speaks 16 different languages. So, he's kind of above it all.
He's a little ruled by his lower self, though, too.
Yeah.
I noticed that in every episode. I'm like, well, dang, does he ever take a break? But he said that he's immune to all diseases, right?
Yes, he is.
So,
yes, he is.
Why not?
Yeah. I mean, he's a lover of women, and if you could, you're 300 years old and you can taste many different types of women, so to speak.
Right.
Then he's like, I don't have time to waste.
Right.
So,
variety.
Right.
Why not?
Right.
It's the spice of life.
Right.
So that's awesome. So it's just chronicling his journey, I guess, right?
Well, the thing is that because he's also probably because he's probably the smartest man on the earth, he's also he's taxed. He's got a friend, sorta. An FBI agent named Gregory Barnes. And so if you're an FBI agent and you've got this case that has to be solved in 24 hours, why not call your friend who's probably the smartest man on the planet?
Right.
So that's what the series basically, skyrockets.
So that's like his nemesis, but also kind of his friend, I guess, or kind of like his
somewhat,
right, his helper,
yeah.
his partner in a sense, but they're
Right.
not really on the same
Right.
level or
Right.
It's
vibration.
more of them using each other, but they
Right.
don't know it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay. Now, this web series, I keep wanting to call it a movie because honestly, at the screening, I felt like I was just watching a movie. It was awesome. And I was like, oh, what happens next, So the series, it has a mix of everything. It has romance and love. It has action. It has drama. It has killing. It has saving. It has helping. It just has elements of everything. So it's a great eclectic mix. When you go see a good movie, one of the things that makes it good is that it covers the spectrum in such a way that it's like, wow, that all came together. It's like good food, It's like, the spices just add up just right. So talk to me about how you, who wrote it and how did they come up with the concept and the storylines?
Donnie wrote it.
Shut the front door. Really?
That would be me, yeah.
Oh my God.
that's awesome.
Donnie is the writer. He's the creator, the director, the editor.
Brother, high
Donnie's
five.
the boss.
High five up top.
Donnie's
That's
the boss.
what's up.
The boss.
Donnie is the boss.
The boss. No, a real boss.
Donnie is the boss.
Not like
Right.
these dudes that are like, I'm a boss. I don't know what they
Donnie's
do.
the
No,
boss.
you're not.
Right,
No,
yeah.
you're not.
He's
Donnie's the
ish.
boss for
He's
real.
ish. Yes, he
Okay,
is.
cool. Very cool. Awesome.
But
He doesn't make it a team effort, but it's Donnie's the
absolutely.
boss.
Success is a team sport.
Right, it is
Yeah.
a team sport, but he's the boss.
Okay, cool.
He's modest.
The
but
mastermind
he
behind
is.
the plan.
Right.
Okay.
He
So
is.
where did you come? I mean, okay, we talked about how you came up with Osiris and, but talk to me about writing and how these storylines just flow. Like I said, the first line out of Osiris's mouth, I was like, that's just crazy.
But Misty, that was all planned. I said to myself, this is a web series. A lot of people. Okay, let me say this. I go see a lot of independent films, and some of them take forever to set up their story. It's so boring. You know what I mean? So what I wanted to do was, I knew this was a web series, so I wanted to get everything started very quickly.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I wanted to open up the entire series with a scene that will let you know who this character is, what he can do, etc. And so that was kind of planned. And as far as it feeling like a movie, that was also kind of planned because web series, if you do know what a web series is and you've seen some other web series, you probably said to yourself, these suck. You know what I mean? Because a lot of them aren't the best. And it's, it's really just because it's open to everybody.
Yeah.
What we wanted to do was provide a high quality television broadcast ready type of web series.
It's so high quality.
But still have it be for free and for the people. So that was harder, easier said than done. But we still wanted to, but it was also to prove what we can do for the feature film that we want to make.
Absolutely.
I'm
already like, when is your movie coming out? Like, where can I eat? Okay, first of all, how can we support Osiris?
Watch it. Watch it.
Tell all your
Osiris
friends.
The series. Exactly. Tell your friend to tell your friend to tell a friend.
Yeah.
Sharing means caring. Share the link.
OSIRIS. Okay.
Series.com.
OsirisTheSeries.com.
Like he said, it's going to be everywhere. I mean, Facebook, Twitter, Blip TV. I mean,
It's going to be everywhere for real, like on another level.
Everywhere.
and that's the thing. Like people say, oh, you should get this on a network. Get this on a
Yeah.
network. But people don't remember that the internet is the biggest distribution
Oh my
method in
God.
the world. Like
No
people in
question.
China and the UK have been watching Osiris.
Right.
And then when you get it to a network, you can say, no, I need this much for a budget, right? Or
Yeah.
I need, yeah. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because then you have the following, and it's like, you're not going to turn it down when I have 1 million people following
and
this
that's
show.
what we are aiming towards.
Absolutely. I
Right.
love it. I love that we're doing it for ourselves, that you guys found, first of all, creatively came together, had the vision, you worked together. It's beautiful. I love the product. And then you were creative. You know, a lot of times people think, oh, it's too hard, or I can't get a network to pick it up, or I can't do this, I can't do that. But you went out and did it for yourself, you know? And it really started off as just a trailer or almost like a brochure or a teaser for the feature film. But I'm like, I want to watch this show like every week. You know what I mean? I'm like into it now.
You know, one more thing. We also wanted to, with African American films, they're usually, you know, certain types. It's usually a drama, melodrama, or about some relationship, trying to get in a relationship
Or a
or out of a
minstrel show.
relationship. That too. So we wanted to show that African Americans are capable of telling other stories than the same old, same old.
Absolutely. Which I love too. And we're going to talk about that some when we come right back. There's so much to talk about. Okay, we're going to be wrapping it up here on the Misty Oaks Experience when we come back, but that's where all the juicy stuff is. So you want to come back with us here on the New Sensation Station Network. You are in the zone with attorney Misty Oaks. We are wrapping it up here on the Misty Oaks Experience, but this is where the good stuff comes in. The really, really good stuff. All meat, no bone. All right. So we have Donnie Leapart here, director extraordinaire, writer extraordinaire, creative mastermind. We have LaQuanda Plant, casting genius as well.
Thank you.
Yes, CT girls.
Yes,
We rock. Yes, we do. I'm gonna. You know what?
Need a
Don't
commercial.
anybody take my idea.
take
I'm
that.
about to come up with a T-shirt line.
Right.
CT girls rock.
Rock.
Now what?
Right.
It'll be about 5 people buying the shirt.
Right. Oh, we deep
Yeah.
though.
No, we are.
We're
We
deep.
are, and we're everywhere.
We're deep.
We're taking over,
I'm telling
like
you.
Akon said. Okay, so how can we find out more about Mr. Leapart? What you are doing? Any projects that you're working on?
Really, the biggest thing for me is Osiris. So definitely log on to osirisseries.com. And also, one thing we forgot to mention is that you can get the web series for free, download it to your iPod or iPad or your iPhone if you subscribe to us on iTunes.
Your tablet PC?
Yes, absolutely. iTunes, we're available on iTunes as well as osirisseries.com and on YouTube, etc. So it's everywhere. Just Google us and you'll find it.
Blip TV,
Yes.
YouTube,
All
iTunes,
of that.
everywhere.
All of that.
OsirisTheSeries.com. It's
Yep.
OSIRIS.
Yes.
The series. I hope y'all know how to spell series, please. Yeah, I'm going to need y'all to dictionary.com now one.
Yes.
Theseries.com.
Yep.
And check it out. It's every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Right?
Yep.
I love it. Y'all get the seal of approval. The Misty Oaks, 2 thumbs up. Love it. It's going to be awesome. I'm just happy to be in on the ground floor so that when it blows
Thank
up
you.
for real, I could be like, I was at the screening when this first came out.
Right.
Okay. So, Miss Plant,
Yes, ma'am.
Miss CT girl, I am a budding, up-and-coming television personality, and I'm thinking about getting into acting one day.
Okay.
I don't have, like, a lot of credits. Like, I haven't even been an extra in many things, so I don't have a lot to put on a resume. Can you give me a couple tips for a young actress, actor, somebody who really wants to break into the industry, who wants to be the next Brad James, who's awesome, who wants to be the next Idris Elba and all of that? Tell me something that I can do.
Well, with Brad James and Idris Elba, I'm sure both of them can probably tell you that they had training.
Yeah.
Or you know what? Brad James will not tell you that because he was just discovered. But, you know, he also had to start training once he was discovered.
Yeah.
Training is most important. With a reputable, experienced trainer, there are many here in Atlanta that you can look into. For those who are just starting out, I always tell them to get into student films. I mean, there's so many outlets here in Atlanta. You have SCAD, you have Art Institute, you have CAU. You have so many independent student filmmakers as well as independent filmmakers. Get into it. Don't be afraid to work for free. I mean, we know the bills need to be paid, but you also, if this is what you want to do,
Right.
you know, this is what you really, really want to do, take those free jobs, take those free roles just to build your resume. Of course, you know, choose be
and
selective.
choose, right,
Exactly.
right.
Definitely be selective.
Yeah.
But to me, that's just how you build your resume. Workshops, training, all those things build your resume. And it's
So
definitely
what do you
for.
look for on a resume? What is ideal?
Ideal is training. Training, and
She's like, look, I'm gonna need y'all to have some education on
right.
this thing. This is not
because to me
for
it's
play.
with anything, a lawyer, if you didn't go to school for it, it's just something that you really couldn't do,
Yeah.
And I think people take acting as something like, oh, I'll just I got
Walk
talent.
in and
my
right.
mama said I got talent, so I'm gonna just be an actor. But I really think if you take this seriously, hone your craft,
Right.
perfect it. So I definitely look at training. It's great to have the extra experience, etc. But I definitely look at training. So to me, workshops, all that stuff is definitely beneficial to you as an actor starting out.
Okay. So train, and is there anywhere where we can get some information from further for all of you budding actors and actresses trying to figure out where to start?
You know what? I am actually having a workshop October 16th, 2 weeks from today at the Green Room. Stay tuned. I'm going to send more detail on my Facebook page. I'll post it out there. It will be October 16th from 4 to 6. But look for it. I'm going to put it out probably sometime this week, but it will be at the Green Room, which is amazing. I don't know if you all been there before.
I haven't been. That is the sister on Steve Harvey.
That's
What's
Terry
her name?
Vaughn.
Terry Vaughn.
Terry Vaughn.
Yes, she was
Shannon
Levita.
Nash. She was
Right.
Levita Jenkins.
And she owns it.
It's this awesome like coffee shop, and I'm giving them like free advertisement. But it's like you
Yeah.
walk in there.
Oh, we're gonna
and-
send this to them.
Right.
I hope they're listening.
Right.
Matter of
Like
fact,
you
hold
walk
on.
in there, and I'm like, wow. Like it's definitely something for us.
Right.
And you walk in there, you see Audrey Hepburn posters. You have
Awesome.
actors' books. You have magazines, newspapers, coffee. They have like red velvet cupcake brownies.
Oh, you already know.
You
I'm
know, they
there.
have like all types of stuff. And I'm like,
All you
wow,
gotta
this
say is red
amazing.
velvet,
Right,
and I'm
red
in the
velvet
building.
brownies. Yeah, red velvet. So
Okay,
yeah,
good. So October 16th, follow on your Facebook
Right,
page.
I'll
which
definitely put it out there. So you could look on my page, LQ Casting, on my group, LQ Casting, or Twitter.
ELLEQ.
CAS,
Casting.
right.
Okay.
TING.
And it's all one word,
It is.
LQ Casting.
It is all one
Very
word.
cool. Now, I want to get to something that is really like the crux of why I really wanted you guys here, because I really have some burning questions about television today, about the state of television and film, about the state of BET. And honestly, I was getting ready to write an article called The Modern Day Minstrel Show, talking about Basketball Wives and Real Housewives of Atlanta and some of the Tyler Perry movies that are out, and BET, like the BET Hip Hop Awards were just here in Atlanta. And really, I don't want to offend anybody, but just the state of what is on TV, whatever happened to the Cosby shows and the 227s and the Amens and the quality programming, or even the programming that's just different,
Right.
That's just out the box, like Osiris, what is missing? What do you feel like is missing from television today?
You know what's funny? Like yesterday on Twitter, I was like, BET Awards, I'll pass. Call me when we get some filmmaker awards. Call
Right.
me when we have something of substance. I think, honestly, like television is missing the Cosby shows or the shows that we really used to watch. Reality TV has definitely taken over. And it's just, about us getting on TV, especially women of color, especially. It's like it's a market of us just going on television, fighting each other, acting a straight fool.
Acting a fool.
And it's selling.
It is.
And that's what it is. It's crazy.
That's the crazy part. It's that we want to watch that
Right.
drama. You know what I mean? And in my opinion, and Donnie, I want you to speak on this too, because you're a purveyor and a connoisseur of all of this stuff. And it's like those things are okay, or can be okay, because we all like drama. I watch Maury. You know what I
Right.
mean? I want to see if he's a baby
Baby
daddy,
daddy,
or not,
right.
You know what I mean?
20 years.
Right. And they tape it in Connecticut, Stanford, CT. But it's like we need balance. We don't have balance. And in my mind, it's like that's all other races see of us. If you're detached and you're suburbia, or you're living white America or Hispanic America, and you're not in tune with African Americans, when you turn on the TV and you see us on Basketball Wives slapping each other, fighting each other, cussing each other out, pulling wigs off, and all this other craziness, that's what you think we do. you know? And it's like, what image is it that we're projecting, you know? Talk to me about Donnie. I want to talk to you really quickly about how you feel about Tyler Perry.
Well, I think Tyler Perry is great in that he, from the business standpoint, like I looked at Tyler and what he was doing because I'm in Atlanta. I've been for quite a while, and when he came, you know, he started to grow in Atlanta. I did not necessarily just look at the work, you know, because I'm not a big fan of not even just his movies, but his type of movies. I'm more of a thriller, suspense, action type of guy. So it wasn't even just the work. I looked at him as a businessman and said, okay, what can I learn from this? And so I looked at the business model. And basically what I took from that is that he's providing entertainment for his fan base, for the people that apparently people are voting with their wallets.
Right. Apparently they're watching it, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So what do you think about the comments that Spike Lee made?
Well, Spike, this is the man who made the film Bamboozled. So you can't be too surprised that, you know, it's in his eyes, it seems like it's like the real life imitates art type of thing where it's like, wow, years later, this kind of came to fruition for him. But that's debatable. Yeah. Some people say, well, Tyler Perry has a message in all of his movies, but at the same time, he mocks, just black people in general, stereotypes black people in general. So it's a tricky dilemma.
It really is, because I would say that he's a little bit more balanced, though, too. He has Medea and kind of the minstrel show, The Men and Drag and all of that stuff. But then he also has thought-provoking movies for colored girls. He has Daddy's Little Girls, I Can Do Bad by Myself. I mean, he has some movies that are showing positive images and images of restoration and healing and hope and spirituality.
Well, I think with Tyler Perry, and I've said this, many times before, I don't dislike the fact that he's making those movies. I don't dislike the hood movies that come out, or any of the other type of movies, especially about relationships, the jump in the brooms, etc. Those are great, but my thing is like, it would be nice if there was alternative programming.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? For those of us who want to see, like a lot of African Americans say they don't like science fiction, but then they're all right there in line to see Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Right.
You know what I mean? So apparently they do. You know what I mean?
Right.
So my thing is like, okay, I want to be that type of person that can provide that for them.
Absolutely. We have to have balance in all things. So I thank the both of you so much for being my guest and being patient with my slow tail in here today. Oh, no problem. And we will be back here, on Wednesday, on Friday, and then the Monday after that, the Wednesday and Friday after that, 9 to 10 every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Tell somebody. The hours have changed, but I'm hoping that you all are enjoying this new format a little bit more. I know that I'm liking it. So if you want more, check me out on Facebook, Twitter, who is Misty Oaks. And you already know it's OAKS, like the tree. There's no tree stronger than an oak. So I'm going to need y'all to get familiar. All right. It has been a great show. I'm glad that you all were here with us. And I will talk to you on Wednesday. Until then, tell someone you love them and try to stay out of trouble, y'all.